Okay, well, we are live here this morning, and we got Penny here. She's kind of standing up on the rails of the chair here. I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm kind of waiting for Facebook to go live. I don't understand what's going on here. The thing is going round and round and round, and Penny's standing there. She had all this stuff she wanted to say this morning. So, I don't know. What's going on here this morning, folks? That's what I'd like to know. But, I guess we will, I don't know whether it's going to start or not. Are we connected here? What is going on? There is this really cute picture of Penny up here today, and she was all excited to tell us what was going on. I don't know what is going on. Everything is supposed to be working, but for some reason we don't get the red live button here. So what is going on? All right, well, we'll give it a second here. How you doing this morning? I am Ann Eller, and I am here with the Princess Penny. She is Weather Dog this morning. That's right. What does Weather Dog have to say this morning? I don't know. Let's see. What does Weather Dog have to say? Let's check the weather, Penny. Well, it wasn't too bad when we went out this morning, Mom. It was cool. You needed a jacket, and I could have used some boots because it's kind of wet out there. Okay, all right. So what is the weather? The weather, it is 46. It feels like 46. And let's see, we have sunny skies out there, sunny skies. I'm going to stop this thing and just see what's going on. Something is not right. Let's see, let's try something different here. Anyways, well, yeah, we are live. There we are. We are live. Okay, so we have sunny skies, high of 46. Supposed to get a high today of 76 this morning. If you're not tuned in, checking this out on Facebook with Penny standing up here, you're really missing it here this morning. High of 76, low of 55. Penny's sitting down now. Okay, Penny's sitting down. Yeah, she is definitely tired here this morning. Outlook for today. That's what today looks like. Not bad at all. What do we got for tomorrow? Today is the first day of spring, by the way. Tomorrow, Saturday, we are looking at a high of 85, low of 60 degrees. And that's supposed to be sunny to maybe a few clouds. Sunday, a high of 88, low of 64. So that's your update right now as far as the weather. Next week is going to continue. Couple of days of 63, 68 high Tuesday and Wednesday, then right back up into the mid-70s to low 80s. However, next Saturday, the 28th, high of 58. That's what they're saying right now. This is wonky weather here, folks, for sure. So that's what's going on there. I am Ann Eller. I am here with the one and only Penny. She just turned her back. Do you know, she wanted to get up here this morning. She's like, let me up here. I want to be part of the show. And now she's gone to sleep. All right. We're going to have to work on that, Penny, if you're going to be part of the show. We can't have any sleepers. All right, let's talk about some things in the news here this morning. I've got quite a show for you this morning. So what are we going to talk about? Did you know? I happened to be watching the Senate debate yesterday. Well, it was the debate from Wednesday, and I was watching it on Thursday last night, and I happened to see that the YMCA was recognized for 175 years of being in the going. Being invented, being a organization, 175 years. I think the first one that they said was in Boston, but that how important the Ys were. There are 175 years of the YMCA, founded in foundation. I can't even found. I don't even know what I wrote. First YMCA here in South Carolina was in Charleston in 1866, and I will say that our Greenwood division was represented down there by Brian Harlan, so he was there along with a lot of others, and this was a nice resolution. Proclamation resolution that was done right there on the Senate floor to recognize the importance of YMCA. So I thought that was pretty cool, and let's see, there were some other facts that they gave out, which was pretty neat. So if you are a member of the Y, if you've ever been a member of the Y, you should be proud to know 175 years of this organization. Isn't that cool? Congratulations. And I think it was on that day that's when it was founded, on the, what would that have been? The 18th of, in 1866. It's a long time for an organization to survive and to be part of something that has changed, grown, and become what it is today. So congratulations to our local YMCA, but also congratulations to the Y for being an organization that has been there as long as it has reinvented itself how many times to be relevant. So for 175 years, the Y has been a place where a lot of meaningful connections build stronger communities with locations in more than 10,000 neighborhoods across the country. And yet they're just like part of everyday life. They're the people that you know, the organization that you trust. And so no matter where you go, there's always a YMCA helping communities. One of the things that I like about the Y is they are always open to help a community with getting in shape, taking care of yourself, all the different aspects of the Y. They are willing to investigate and see, is this something we can work with and do? So congratulations to 175 years. So, just a good story, and I think I wanted to bring that to you because I didn't realize the Y was celebrating 175 years. All right, now let's move on to some of the other stories that I have out here for you. I'm telling you what, there's a lot of stories here today, but the stories we're going to talk about here are number one, well, not number one, but a story that we are going to be talking about is that they don't have a courthouse down in Bamberg, South Carolina. Now, this is a travesty. And the only reason that this is changing, because Judge Kittredge, I believe, was down there and said, ain't no way we're going to keep dealing with this. This has been, that is hard to believe. 5 years without a functioning courthouse. They sit on folding chairs. They have a curtain that separates the people from the other people. I mean, it is very, very makeshift down there. So I want to talk about that. I want to put a little highlight on that story because it certainly needs to have something put forth. They talk about doing all these things down in the legislature, but I would think having a functioning courthouse would be one that would be very, very, very. What did somebody say? This isn't a courtroom, it's a patchwork set up just trying to get by. There's safety concerns, there's everything else. Okay, that's one article that we're going to talk about here this morning. What else did I have here to talk about? Uh, oh, where is it? Oh, da 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 da. We're going to talk about loneliness and how people are living longer, but they're living lonelier. And then I've got a great story about how a woman's prison down, I guess outside of Columbia, I think this is, how they're building and have raising vegetables down there, how this program actually brings them out of prison with skills and money that they get paid for tending the garden. So this is another cool story that I wanted to talk about. So right here in South Carolina, that this is showing what can be done to help people, number one, that need a skill, get out and get into something that is their future. All right. So there was a lot of conversation, there is a lot of conversation. I'm telling you, if you want to watch something, if you're bored and need something to do, go watch any of the Senate or maybe the House. I was watching the Senate last night. Oh my God, put it on double speed so that you can speed right to it. And if you hear anything interesting that piques your interest, you can of course slow it down and listen to it. But one of the things they were talking about how they are going to deal. Are you awake now? How you're going to deal with gummies and everything with THC, hemp products. This whole 9 yards is quite interesting. What they are going to be doing with that. They ended up tabling this new amendment. And I don't know if they're going to get through it or not. You know, we had John McCravey on the other day, and he wants just a total ban of the whole thing. He wants a total ban. But I don't know from what I was listening there where this is going. You know, Tom Davis, who was, they get the mic, and they don't seem to realize, just state your case and ask a couple of questions and get out of there. Tom Davis had to be talking about medical marijuana. Do you realize this? Do you realize that? And Josh Kimbrell was, what shall we call him, in the hole. He had brought this amendment. Several more people signed on to the amendment. It really boils down to how, in my opinion, how controlled should we as adults be? I think, to me, that is the bigger issue. You know, we have alcohol. This is not to get high ostensibly. Of course, anything can be turned around and can be turned into. I mean, this discussion even got into that they're not making the gummies appealing to children. They will not be in cute little dinosaur shapes. They will have medical type looking packaging that it will be in. Of course, the point that was made was that you cannot stop somebody who is going to do bad things. If somebody wants kids to have it and they put it inside a brownie, and then that's not the law. But it really comes down to me, and the more I listened to this, the more it came down to me, how much should our rights be controlled? We all know that controlled substances like opioids and everything are not, you don't want anybody taking opioids for more than, what do they say, 3 days, something like that, or people can get hooked on them. People can get hooked less than that. I've heard stories of somebody taking one opioid and they were hooked. So the bottom line is, how do you control, and how much control are you willing to have the government have over your life? I think that is one of the things that, as I was watching / listening to this thing, and I see the conservative side, I see the liberal side, I see the in the middle side of this whole issue. Where do we draw the line? And are we ending up with too many laws, regulations, etc.? I think what I've heard out of this is certainly something that should not. We're talking about the gummies, the cannabinoids, CBD cannabinoids. Is it supposed to be good for the body if it's taken in the right combination? We're not talking about some of the highly almost like an alcoholic drink that drives somebody crazy. But I don't know the answer to it. But the thing that is beginning to concern me is how much control does the government, whether it's your local government, your state government, your federal government, should the government have over us? Because the ultra-conservative side here thinks that there should be absolutely no CBD products. We should not open the door at all. I think that's pollen. I have pollen this morning. I think that is admirable. But is it right? I don't know the answer, but the more I listen to people arguing about, did you know this, and did you know that, and are you aware of this, and are you aware of that, we might as well all just live in a bubble and give it up. We might as well provide no help to people that need help or find help. And where has personal responsibility gone for individuals to know what they can and cannot tolerate? I surely don't think that any of these items ought to be where children walk into a 7-Eleven, a gas station, convenience store. They should not be there. They should not be gummies on the counter. This was a big topic Wednesday at this, whether gummies would be on the counter to hook people in. I definitely think they should not be on that. If you are dealing with a place that is reputable, and they give you a prepackaged gummy to try and to see if it helps you, okay. But they should not be like candy sitting on the counter. And then there's all the topics, all the things that are really need to be worked out, such as a budget, such as this, such as that. And they spend so much time on what I consider stuff that really doesn't matter. And they just ended up in the end, they tabled this amendment. So that means at some point they'll come back and talk about it some more. But to me, this is a good example of how much control do we want? How irresponsible should people be, or how responsible should people be? Is not the responsibility aspect of this part of what we should be looking at? They told stories about military people who have suffered tremendously, come out of the military with all kinds of aches and pains and problems. And that opioids and this type of thing weren't giving that much relief, but CBD was, and how this had helped them. Are we going to deny them these things? Are we going to say, no, you can't go buy them? They're not. It's just a whole circle of stuff that I'm not even going to get into anymore, other than saying, where does personal responsibility and how many laws, how many regulations should we have to control our lives? I mean, you remember that movie Network? I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. I want you to go to your windows and open the windows and say, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Sometimes it seems like that's what we need to do to get their attention. Do you agree? 864-332-9355. 864-332-9355. Do you agree? We need to change up how we are looking at us as responsible human beings. So I just wanted to bring that point up because I spent a lot of time listening to it. I don't know what the end of this is going to be or not be. But we've lost our compass in being able to be responsible adults. And the legislature, in my opinion, is getting to the point where we have to have a law for everything. We're not going to be able to go out and do anything. You fall off your bike. Well, that's, we're going to regulate bikes. You're not going to be able to have a bike. We're going to regulate this. Where does it end once you start going down this slippery, slippery slope? Hey, I'm Ann Eller. That's just an opinion piece this morning from me as I sat there watching 2 hours of this last night, just to bring you my shakeout on it and just for them to table the amendment after spending all this time on it. They did a roll call, so everybody was on the record, and it was, 5 or 6 that voted for moving it forward, and everybody else, let's just table it. We've had enough conversation about that. All right, let's talk about something else here this morning that I found interesting in the news. What was that article that I wanted to talk about? I think, all right, we'll get back to that one. This thing on oil, I think, I'm not going to say. I'm just going to move on. I want to talk about the article I want to talk about here this morning. I was doing some reading last night, and I came across this thing saying that we are living longer, but we are alone. We are alone a lot more. And that loneliness carries the same mortality risk as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, according to the U.S. Surgeon General Advisory. The number one global empathy advocate, they are saying that this crisis is driven by disconnection. And we do have a whole 50% of the population are feeling lonely or lacking belonging. And it says our lack of connection is killing us. Do you think that is true? I think it is true. We are more connected. We've got telephones in our hands, little computers we walk around with, and yet, people are more lonely. It's not stress, it's not diet, it's loneliness that are made some people that are killing people. So, what does it look like where in our community? Elderly neighbors living alone, widows and widowers after a loss, people who moved here and don't know anyone yet, even busy families who feel isolated despite being connected online. You can be surrounded by people but still feel completely alone. What do you think? 864-332-9355. That's 864-332-9355. And so there are so many ways that people get out, they go to the Y. Okay, they go work out. You need to put yourself in a place where you can have a community that cares about you. Sometimes you can be too connected. I think the other thing that people have gotten into, and there are older people who, of course, may not text, but texting has become a way of non-communicate. It's communicating, but it's also non-communicating. You don't hear somebody's voice. You don't get the intonation of what they're actually saying. You're not looking at their face and seeing whether they're distraught, whether they're really happy, whether they're saying something just as, oh, well, it's the way it is. So I wanted to bring this up because I do think that we have become a society that is full of loners. And even though people put a smile on their face and they're part of it, we have so many young people that are dealing with the stress. Maybe it's from COVID, from the separation that we had during that time. But when I read the headline that more people are dying of loneliness, that just really brought it home to me. How important is the connections that you have with people that you know? And sometimes, that song, Cats in the Cradle, where the story goes through how the dad is traveling all the time and he never has time for his son. And then one day his son grows up and the dad asks his son, wouldn't you like to go do blah, blah, blah? And he goes, I'm sorry, Dad, the kids are sick. This is going on. I just don't have any time. How impactful is that in our world? How much are we like that in our daily world? Well, I'll just send him a text. Yeah, but do a thumbs up. That's enough. And how often do you even try to read between the lines of a text? How many people are so crafty in writing their text to make sure? I don't know about you, but when I go to send a text, particularly if it's something, I'll use the word important, I quite often write it, walk away from it, come back and go, now, does this sound like a weenie? I think it is so important. Meals on Wheels, they always talk about Meals on Wheels and the food and everything, but the more important part of Meals on Wheels is that checking on a senior. But people can be lonely at any age. People can feel not connected. I think our military families, we have military families, National Guard families, where people, guys or gals, are gone for long periods of times. They're not living on a base. They're living in a community. I know I've done several stories about this, about the loneliness, about not being able to cope with everything from mowing the yard to getting the kids where they need to go all the time. So I wanted to mention this story as we're getting ready to go into spring and summer, that maybe we all need to step back and try to be more connected to those that are in our circle and maybe those that aren't in our circle, maybe the neighbor that lives up the street. I try to bring this up relatively often, but I didn't realize that loneliness is what is killing so much of our population. And I thought that was a very sad story to read about. Check on your neighbor. Call someone instead of texting. I know lots of people go, oh, that's Aunt Eller. I don't want to talk to her. Let's just go check you later. I got this going on. I got that going on. But sometimes that telephone call can be a really important lifeline to making sure that that person is okay. So call someone instead of texting. If you're a parent, you would really like to hear more from your kids in a voice. I have a friend who has a son, and she constantly is trying to figure out why he doesn't want to talk to her. And he'll send her a quick 2 or 3 word text, and she rationalizes it by saying, I know he's busy. But I know it really bothers her that he doesn't reach out, or she'll send him a text and he'll give maybe a one word, or maybe he won't even answer it for a couple of days. So I think in society we just have to start and try to be a little closer on the human level to those that are particularly in your circle, your family and friends. But it never hurts to reach out and be friendly. You're going to the grocery store. How many times have you seen an elder person trudging up to go to the grocery store? I always just kind of say hi. And it just really seems to lighten a person's day when somebody speaks to them. We are suffering tremendously in lack of connection to people. And so even strangers can do that. So as we get closer to Easter here, why don't you make kind of a commitment to help those that maybe could just use not your money, not anything else, but your something that's you could give totally freely other than the time aspect, but make the time to be able to talk to somebody. It would make a huge difference in their life, and I guarantee you will get something out of it too. Hey, I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS. So let's reach out to some of our people that you know, people you haven't talked to in a while, somebody that comes across your brain. You see something, you do something, and you go, God, I wonder how they're doing. Well, this time, instead of just saying, I wonder how they're doing, try to reach out to them. I think it would make all the difference in the world. I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS. We talk all the time about building our community. We need to build it with people. We need to build it with people. Would you say that, Penny? Look at Penny. Would you say that we need to build it with people? She goes, yes, I like my connection to my mom. And when she's not here, I get very upset. Is that right, Penny? That's right. All right. Well, we are going to take a very quick commercial break. We'll be right back. I got one more story to share with you, plus some events. So don't you go away. This is WCRS Radio right here. Yes, let's do it right now. It's the only thing. I got to move all this stuff around to be able to do this. So here we go. Take it away.
Hi, my name is Gianna DeLeon from Greenwood High School. My fellow Palmetto Pride Youth Ambassadors and I are inviting you and your family to participate in our contest and cleanup on Saturday, March 28th from 11 to 1 at the Greenwood Library. Join us in games and fun before the cleanup, and then see how much of a difference you can make in our community and earn cool prizes. Please register on the Keep Greenwood County Beautiful Facebook page. Remember, March 28th from 11 to 1 at the Greenwood Library. See you there. And remember, be part of the solution, not the pollution.
This March, share the love of reading with the Greenwood YMCA's Children's Book Drive. Donate a brand new children's book and help support youth development programs in our community. And here's the best part. New members pay a $0 joiner's fee. That's right. Bring in a new children's book during the month of March and we'll waive the joiner's fee. Already a member? Donate a book and receive a special bookmark plus entry into a drawing for a free gift. Help us celebrate reading, learning, and community all month long. Visit the Greenwood YMCA today and help put a great book into a child's hands. The Y. There's no place like this place.
I'm Roxanne Lindholm, the local coordinator of Child Evangelism Fellowship, Lakelands District. I would like to invite you to a free lunch so you can hear how the Lord is working in the lives of children at our fundraising banquet. The banquet will be held on Saturday, March 28th from noon to 2 p.m. at Harris Baptist Church, and donations will be accepted. Call or text 864-554-8290 to reserve a spot at the banquet by March 20th. Again, 864-554-8290.
Have a favorite blizzard from Dairy Queen? Did you know you can make it into a Dairy Queen blizzard cake?
DQ. Happy tastes good.
Make every occasion special with a blizzard cake only from your local Dairy Queen on the 72 bypass. Order one today.
DQ. Happy tastes good.
So make your next occasion extra special with your favorite blizzard as a cake. Only from Dairy Queen.
DQ. Happy tastes good.
Oh, that's right. We're right back here, and Penny is she's in the camera zone here today. She's decided she wants to participate. She's finished her nap or whatever. So, Penny, you want to say hi this morning? Say hi. Hi, no, come on, say hi. Say hi. You gonna say hi? No hi? Penny, you gonna say hi? Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. I'm a little tired again this morning. I can't believe this. I'm going to have to put you to bed earlier if you're going to have to be part of the show here now, Penny. We're going to have to put you to bed earlier. Yeah, okay. Have a little treat there, and let's keep moving. All right, the last story I really want to talk about, other than what is going on in our community, I think, on the other hand, something I would say is that people need to reach out. If you are lonely, get out and go somewhere. Whether... the grocery store is a place to start. I used to spend a lot of time at the grocery store. Now I don't have any time at all. But after Jeff died, I bet I went to the grocery store 3 or 4 times a day just to get out there. So I just wanted to say that getting out, joining an organization, whether it's the Y, the Silver Sneakers program, which is part of the Y, whether it's a church, whether it is a place to go to lunch. And sometimes when you're all alone, you just need to pick up the phone and say, would you like to go to lunch? You need to not let yourself marinate in your misery. Getting out, going for a walk. Go watch the kids at the park. I mean, just getting out makes you feel so much better. Shopping, whether you actually buy something or you just go shop. You don't know how many people I've met shopping in TJ Maxx, Ross, Belk's, all the stores around where you just end up seeing somebody. It truly is amazing, and having a 5-minute conversation can really boost your spirits. So don't sit there in your house and be alone. You've got to do something for yourself too. I just mean it's really a two-way street. And when somebody makes an advance, kind of give them an option to have a little conversation. You may be doing more than you realize for that person. All right, now I want to talk about, oh, no, we're not going anywhere. I want to talk about this last article that I found that's totally off the topic here. It doesn't have anything to do with Trump. It doesn't have, or TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. Pete Hegseth was talking about TDS. I'm like, what's TDS? Oh, Trump Derangement Syndrome. We as a society are very, very strange. All right, what I want to talk about is there is a correctional center, which I didn't realize there was. It's called Camille Correctional Facility. It's down outside of Columbia, and it has launched this program. It's The Farm, and it's the first It's the first of its kind as a prison in the country that has a farm, and they have a huge greenhouse, I guess, down there. Inside 4, amid the lights and fans growing stacked rows of lettuce in various stages of their lifestyle. The farm, publicly celebrated Thursday, is the first of its kind at a prison in the country. Along with teaching inmates agricultural and life skills, the program could serve as a model for prisons and companies across the country to create their own vertical farms. So this goes up. It's not a huge space, but it goes up high. The life cycle of lettuce plants grown in a storage container sit on a table at the Camille Griffin Graham Correctional in Columbia, South Carolina. And work began in the shipping containers in January, with inmates harvesting around 3,500 heads of lettuce every week. By the end of the year, and again, these are built in shipping containers, old shipping containers. By the end of the year, they expect to harvest more than 40,000 pounds of of lettuce. Far more than they would be growing the same number of crops spread horizontally instead of vertically. Crops in the shipping containers grow more quickly than they would in a field, with a head of lettuce taking about 40 days to mature instead of the usual 60 or so. Inmates start with seeds in a small pot of soil, which spend about 2 weeks sprouting in one of the shipping containers. Once the head of green is visible, the women move to sprouts to another container where they grow in vertical rows of 5 beneath strips of LED lights. A pump circulates water, encasing the plant's roots, while fans set up along the narrow rows provide airflow. The produce, once harvested, goes back to Camille Griffin Graham Correctional, one of the state's prisons for women, and 2 other prisons on the same complex. That saves the prison system money on greens and gives inmates access to freshly grown food. Lettuce plants sit under LED lights in a vertical farm at the Camille Griffin Graham Correction in Columbia. The state contributed $350,000 to the program, and an anonymous donor gave $850,000. Women inside the prison used to look forward to meals with chicken, said this lady that was working on the farm. These days, they favor meals are the ones that come with fresh lettuce. They eat it with or without dressing. And what enticed this one woman to be part of this 5-month program is with the support of a $97,000 grant from South Carolina philanthropy group Power Ed. Inmates who complete the program, named Fresh Start Produce, will receive $1,450 once they leave prison. That equates to the federal minimum wage of $7.25 for each of the 200 hours of work expected. That's on top of the days off inmate sentences, which they receive for all prison work programs. Many of the prison system workers centers around agriculture and learning farming, row crops, milking cows, and tending horses. This is a terrific program, I think. So, along with the hands-on planting, propagating, and picking lettuce, inmates take classes about the specifics of farming as well as more general skills. By the time they finish the course, the women should have a good base knowledge of food safety, how to plan a farm, and how to run an agricultural business, said David Flynn, who leads vertical farming company Amplified Ag, which donated the equipment and technology to start the program. This one gal in this program is not going to go into agricultural work, But what she realized was how therapeutic working was using her hands, that she wants to incorporate some sort of gardening into a plan to teach other women similar skills. Lots of women are going out into nothing. With the program, though, they're provided with a start. So, I wanted to share that with you because this was something that I hadn't heard about, and I thought it has a tremendous potential to take people who have maybe no background in farming, didn't realize the potential of it, and so I thought it would be something that maybe other people would look at. The women that are in this program are learning real life skills for life: farming, food safety, business basics. They're learning how to run a small agricultural operation. This helps with job opportunities after they are released. It also said many of the women in the program say it's therapeutic, calming, gives them purpose. One inmate said it's really a blessing. Better quality of life inside prison, the fresh food instead of processed meals. Inmates now look forward to meals with fresh lettuce. So that is huge. They also have to show up daily, and they learn about teamwork, responsibility, problem solving. And it's has the potential, programs like this have the potential to reduce repeat offenses, help inmates find jobs, and lower the chance of returning to prison. This isn't about lettuce, really. It's about giving women a second chance, teaching them skills, and even something as simple as growing food can change how someone sees their future. And so what do you think of this program? Do you think these programs like this are worth the investment? Should prisons focus more on rehabilitation like this? I would just be curious as to what you think as far as that goes. Do you think a program like this is worth investing in? I can see no downside other than we're not just housing people and spending money out. In this case, at least they are learning a future, we'll call it a trade, agriculture. They're learning to appreciate where your food comes from, and they're doing something good for themselves. So, and the idea that they get a minimum wage, that they get this money when they get out of prison, they get that $1,450. I think it's a pretty good deal. This is rehabilitation in action, not just incarceration. So a connection can change a life, whether it's loneliness of somebody who is living alone in a house, or somebody that's in prison that learns a skill or a trade. You know, talking about the loneliness, there are so many programs in our community. The library is constantly having programs for people to do things. These paint and pour, these crafts. There's a crochet club. There's all these things. And more important than what they're doing at these crafts, it is the connection that it brings people together and people can talk. So we've been talking about how loneliness and how it's now considered as dangerous to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So here we are. Now we're talking about how we can solve, how we can help people who are lonely get out and do something, but also how this is affecting in a prison, the change that it's making there. So that wasn't a small project, about $1.2 million invested. Well, I don't know. In today's world, $1.2 million just seems like chopped liver, doesn't it? Anyways, $350 from the state, $850,000 from a private donor, plus another grant to help support training. But in the end, the women are learning skills, but they're also finding purpose, structure, and connection. So we are trying to talk about how one can bridge loneliness. People in prison, I think you could make the same case. People in prison can be lonely, or they can get involved in projects. I know of projects where they've done training dogs. I know that this one in the gardening is the first one in the nation, though, where they've actually used gardening, I guess, in a huge way. I mean, they may have had small gardens, but this is supposed to be a big one. Meals on Wheels is certainly a program that helps people and gets involved. So I just wanted to say, check on that neighbor, make a phone call, sit and talk a little longer. Connection doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be intentional. Be intentional about what you're trying to do. Yes, this is therapist Ann Eller today. I just think some things we don't need to be taking a pill for. We need to be able to spend the time with people that we care about. And who knows what you may find out if you spend that time caring about someone. So those are my lines for today. Those are my lines today. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you'll think of someone who could use a telephone call, a cup of coffee, a little of your time, because we don't always put enough value, there's the word I was looking for, enough value on our time. And our time, we realize, is precious, but we don't realize how a little bit of our time could make such a difference to somebody else. I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS Radio. Penny is sitting here being quiet again today. I guess I got to dress her up and make her look special for her to sit up. Oh, here she comes. She's sitting up with us right now. She's decided she's going to participate in the show. Is that what you're saying? You're participating? I know you are. Penny is just the best thing that I could have gotten for myself. There was a while, though. Many of you know there was quite a while. There was quite a while where I didn't realize whether I'd done a good thing for myself or not. So don't get a puppy unless you have oodles of time and you just want to take care of the puppy, because that was my problem. I was too stressed trying to cover all the bases. Yes, I was. But now, Penny is a blessing. That's right. And she's right here with us, Princess Penny, on the show. I've wanted to tell you about a couple things going on this weekend. You want to make sure that you are out there taking advantage of some of the good things going on. One of the things is Modoc Speedway is opening back up. It's race day at the dock. We are not sold out. No tickets were sold in advance. They are only available at the gates. We are excited to welcome all of you to see what we've been up to. We allow leashed pets that you pick up after. Those you don't pick up after are not welcome. Okay. We have many trash barrels throughout the facility. Please put your trash in them. We have many porta potties. I got to get out to some of these things. I love old-time racing, track racing, dirt track racing. I love it. I think it is Americana at its best. And maybe that's because where I grew up, that's what you did on Saturday night. If you were really lucky, you got to go to the raceway. That's right. What was it called? The Norway Speedway, I think it was. Anyways, that is something that I just really, when I went to Maine, had such a good time. But this speedway is opening up. All right, what else do we have? The Humane Society is having a fun day at their place. They have inflatables. They have crafts. All this is going on at the Humane Society tomorrow. And by the way, did you happen to see, I posted this on my Facebook page, Barkista. Barkista. Yes, it is. Do not give your coffee, but they have Barkista, instant coffee lattes. Have you seen this? This is just hysterical. It's a little coffee maker. You put the pod in it, and put the coffee in the cup, but it's not coffee, and they get to have an instant latte. It says that it is healthy, delicious, and formulated specifically for pups just like yours. Made with fresh, dehydrated goat's milk, medicinal mushrooms, and no real coffee, instant dog lattes are the perfect way to kickstart your dog's morning. I may have to get this for Penny so she can have her own latte, but it's a little machine with the pods. I don't know whether you need the machine or you just need the pods, I think. So you just pop that pod in there and then you let it do its thing. And as long as I put a little whipped cream on the top, I know that Penny would love it. No caffeine, boosts immunity, improves gut health. Whoa, we need that, Penny, don't we? All right. I've wanted to say that for a couple of days. So, excuse me. 864-332-9355. Anybody found what we've been talking about helpful this morning? I'd really like to know. I just was like, it's Friday. We need to talk about something else. This political stuff can just get on your nerves, can it? So I thought we would just talk about it. Next Saturday, they are having a contest and cleanup at the Greenwood Library. This is for kindergarten through to 12, K5 to 12. Get out there and help clean up. They've got all kinds of crafts and prizes and everything. It would be a fun thing to do. It's for, as I said, K5 through 12. The contest begins at 11. Cleanup will begin at noon for an hour, and they would love to see you out there. You can also call the Greenwood Library to register, 864-941-4650. I do understand they are going to have some great swag. Great swag. So, I have heard some rumblings out there in the political world, and it could rock the governor's race here in South Carolina. I'm going to wait till Monday to see if any of it is true or how it all shakes out. So you will have to be tuned in on Monday to hear about that. But what else? The food giveaway, that started at 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock over there in Hodges. I hope you picked up your food over there if you were in need of it. Oh, there was another thing I thought I had. Yes, the inaugural Ed Basie Memorial, Friday, March 20th at the Modoc Speedway. I'd like to go to that, but I just can't go it tonight. I just can't. Anyways, anything else here to talk about particularly? I thought I had, there's the Spring Festival. That's tomorrow at Humane Society. I don't think I have. Let's see. Do I not have anything else that I really wanted to get out there? Not today. I do hope that you will get back to to check out any of the shows you missed this last week. We had a great week of shows. Penny made her debut on the radio. And we've also, though, talked about some great topics. Representative John McCravey was on the air with us Wednesday afternoon. Monday and Tuesday, we talked about some really good topics to be checking out. And I just want to say, when you want to know what's going on in Greenwood, go back and watch these shows. You can watch them on Facebook at WCRS Radio, but you can also go to our website, WCRS1450am.net. Love to hear from you. Love to know what you're thinking. Love to keep you updated. So, as we get ready to rumble here, let's see if we got anything else here. Yes. Thursday, March 26th, the Women's Leadership Collaborative Women of Excellent Award Luncheon. And they're actually going to be honoring Teresa Goodman of Community Initiatives and Joanna Sidorsky at Self Regional Healthcare. So that will be out there at Piedmont Tech. You need to register through the Chamber's website. That is Thursday, March 26th at registration at 11:30. The program is at 12. It looks like that is also coming up on April 4th. April 4th is Miracle League starts. I think that is such a terrific organization. If you can help out in any way on that, that would be terrific. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. I'm done. I've got so much to do. I got political stuff to look at, trying to get everything scheduled out. Monday at 7:15 p.m., we are going to be live in studio with Alan Wilson. That will be on Facebook. Actually, that should be able to be on Facebook and on the radio. Live on the radio, live on Facebook with Alan Wilson. That is a pretty cool that we'll have him in studio. Then on the 24th, Brenda Feast over there from Women's Health Center will be here, and that's going to be a good one. And we've got a whole lot more coming up. So you got to stay tuned right here on WCRS. Penny, do you think we should get off the air here this morning? Are you ready for us to get off the air? What do you think? Should we get off the air? Yes? Okay. You want to say goodbye? Say goodbye, Penny. Bye, everybody. We're out of here. That's going to do it for us. This is WCRS Radio. Have a good one. Don't forget, tomorrow morning I'll be here for a while, so make sure you tune it in right here on WCRS Radio. Bye-bye, everybody.